on the Verbo Fiesta Bowl and Guaranteed Rate Bowl CEO and President Erik Moses joins us now here on Fox Sports 910. Last night, Gophers 47-yard field goal. It's in the air. Your alma maters. The opponent. How did that all go down for you, Erik?
A win is a win. A win is a win. I'll take it.
You can breathe again now, Erik. You can breathe. You can exhale.
Look, am I allowed to say an ACC victory over a Big Ten team?
Sure.
I mean, I like the way this season is getting started.
Yeah, that is not bad. I mean, that is really good. I mean, it's interesting about the ACC because I think they have to prove themselves this year because they've been kind of like they're number 4, right? Would you agree? And they need to kind of get these big wins. And, I think if Clemson would upset Georgia, that would be a hell of a way to start the season. We already saw what Georgia Tech did. I mean, ACC so far through the first week is on a good start.
That's all right. Stanford and TCU tonight.
Oh,
so that's
right.
the ACC Big 12 matchup now. I mean, yeah, I think the conference thinks it has to fight for respectability nationally. I think, in the heart of folks like myself and others, it's a legitimate conference, and we'll prove it on the field. So we'll see.
Erik, do you think this whole Florida State thing, if you will, with the ACC will eventually go away? It sounds like the ACC's hunkered down as far as allowing anybody to leave the conference.
Well, their commissioner, Jim Phillips, is somebody I have a great deal of respect for. I think he's doing a great job in trying to navigate this. I mean, they're still in the conference, so you don't want to be openly at war with member institutions, but you have to defend yourself. And I think he wants to keep the conference together. And frankly, I have not heard or read anywhere where any other conferences are clamoring to get either of those teams into their conference. And so, look, win the ACC, you get automatic qualifier into the tournament. And so I think, the teams that are better in football or have traditionally been better in football should focus on winning the conference and fighting for a national championship.
So, Erik, busy week this week. You had the new college football playoff executive director, Rich Clark, was in town. Tell us a little bit about him, what kind of philosophy he has. Does he love the bowl system the way it's been? Just kind of give us kind of a little background on him and what his vision is.
Yeah, no, it was great. Rick is 2 months into the job and is visiting all of the bowls and spent some time in Scottsdale with us. He was a 4-year letterman at the Air Force Academy. I think his senior year, they were number 8 in one poll and number 5 in another, went to 4 consecutive bowl games. And he talks very lovingly about his experience and the experience his family had in following him and his team to those 4 bowl games. And so I think the Bulls are in good hands with his leadership as somebody who understands the importance of the bowl games to the student athlete and to their families, and who thinks it's pretty important. So he certainly was pleased to talk about the Verbo Fiesta Bowl being the very first quarterfinal in this new expanded format on December 31st, and we believe he will be here with us to watch that game.
Erik, I can imagine when he took this job over, it's all hands on deck, with the 12 playoff teams and the quarterfinals and same as what have you. What is going to be probably the biggest challenge, not only for him, but for all the bowl games that are part of the playoff system?
I think the biggest challenge from the CFP standpoint is the really new part of this, which are the first round games on campuses in December, right? That's completely new. Most of these campuses aren't accustomed to hosting games that late in the calendar year. We know that many of them have graduations going on in December. Many of their stadiums winterize and shut down. Those towns are not necessarily accustomed to accommodating the number of travelers that I imagine will be coming in to town for those first round games on campuses. And so I think that's the wild card right now. And I think Rich said as much.
All right, Friday night showdown. High school football is back. This is something that the Fiesta Bowl, has gotten involved in last year, and it's just growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. First, kind of give us a little background on how this all started, the Friday night showdown, and what's going to happen tonight.
Well, tonight we've got Higley at Campo Verde, and Higley defending 5A champs, so that should be a good one. Last week, we started off in San Carlos on a Thursday. That entire town came out. The stands were packed, full of energy, and that community was really, really excited about us being there, especially given kind of the watch fires they went through recently this summer. And so we're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to bring more attention, more happiness, and a greater football experience to the games where we're allowed to bring our presence. And so we think tonight's game is going to be a great one as well. We're happy just to be there.
I got to tell you what, Eric, I trained one of the young quarterbacks at Scottsdale Christian that played San Carlos in that game, and they talked about the game. They thought that was so cool when you guys brought that belt out to hand that to San Carlos. I mean, for those young guys, whether it's 1A, 2A, or 3A, to experience that was like you guys, they know about the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, but now they know about the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, these kids deserve all the attention that they can get. I mean, it's not easy. Look, it's not easy being a kid these days or a teenager at all, but then they're competing on the field and doing a great job. And we just want the world to know, and we want the kids to get the attention that they deserve. But speaking of quarterbacks, I mean, what do you think about Shador last night?
I tell you what, it looked pretty doggone good. It's pretty much him and Hunter, his receiver, that make it happen. But Shador stepped up. He ran well. He threw well. That kid keeps that up between either him or his receiver. Could be like the number 1, 2, or 3 pick in the draft this year.
I mean, he's still running for his life, isn't he? But
yes.
He's standing in there taking the hits and delivering the ball.
Yeah, he really is. But I got to tell you, Hunter, some of the catches he made, the 3 touchdowns, little Marvin Harrison Jr. look, the contortionist in him on that one catch. So, you're watching college football last night. You see these athletes that are. It's fun to see guys stay where they're at, and that those kids are at Colorado, these kids are here. And it's like Clemson. You look at. They don't believe in the they believe in NIL, obviously, but they don't believe in reference to transfer portal moving guys. It's guys staying them homegrown guys, and that's what I appreciate about some of these teams.
I love that. Dabo has put a stake in the ground around not, farming kids through the transfer portal. I just wonder whether he can keep up. You can be the one holdout, but for so long, and it's. I guess we'll see on Saturday when they face Georgia.
All right, this is important. On Tuesday, applications open for Wishes for Teachers. Go to wishesforteachers.org. As the bowl has donated $1.25 million to teachers across this incredible state, as 500 teachers receive $2,500 each. So how does this process work, Eric? Is it the actual teacher or is the school principal? Who actually needs to go to wishesforteachers.org?
So anyone can nominate. We want teachers to do it, but anyone can nominate. We want your listeners to, if your kid has a great teacher that deserves some help and some support and wants some additional resources in his or her classroom, send them to the website, wishesforteachers.org. We want to make certain that as many teachers and school personnel apply for these grants as possible, because they're doing some fantastic work and we want to help to support that work.
Eric, this is going to be a fun year, man. This is outstanding. Thanks for jumping on today. We know you've been traveling, so thanks for some time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate you guys. Watch some good football this weekend.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Eric Moe is the CEO and president of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl and Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Wishes for Teachers. It is, I can't tell you how cool it is. Kevin Rowe, who is a big partner of the Fiesta Bowl, he can tell the story too. He had the opportunity last year to call a teacher, to tell the teacher that they were just awarded $2,500, and the emotion. $2,500. My mom was a teacher.
Sure.
I know your family has been.
They're all
teachers.
Mm-hmm.
$2,500 for a classroom goes
Absolutely.
a long way when a lot of these kids don't have anything. These teachers don't make anything. So it's a really, really cool program, and that you see it. There's a lot of charities out there. There are a lot of organizations that raise money, but you don't know where the money goes. You physically get to see these 500 teachers getting these checks, and it's so cool.
You're right,
really
Rock. I'm sure your mom did it for many years. You come out of pocket to decorate the class, to have some odds and ends for the kids to kind of spruce up your classroom. My sister Diane did that for many years. My sister Darlene does that now. She's teaching. I think she's teaching kindergartens or first grade, and also to have maybe a little bit of bring some little snacks,
2
or
minutes.
odds and ends for a lot of these low-income kids, but they come out of pocket. So that $2,500 goes a long way. I mean, it could do your first semester and your second semester.
Well, you always hear about all the backpack programs. You know, you could go to a dollar store and you could fill up a whole backpack for a few bucks, and that goes so
a long
far.
way.
All right, so Kevin Rowe is going to join us next for our Rose Pick'em contest. We do this every Friday during football season. It's kind of over-unders. Today we're going to do Ohio State will score over or under 55 points against Akron. SMU will be over under 500 yards of total offense against Houston Christian. Winner of the USC LSU game, score will be over or under 35 points. And Weber State and Washington, the winner of that one, because Kevin went to Washington. Now, this year, we're going to mix it up a little bit. Kevin is a giver, and we are going to be giving away these swag bags, which could be hats, shirts, pullovers, gift cards. I mean, it's a really cool swag bag from Lerner and Rowe. So you're going to be competing for that. Kevin's not going to wear his own gear. So, he wants to kind of liven up. We usually do the gift cards, but this is going to be a little bit different, much more value, and I think it's cool. So if you want to compete against Kevin, the phone number is 602-260-9191, 260-9191. We'll take the fifth caller. And again, it's those 4 games. You're going to compete with him on the air if you want. If you call in and you're a little nervous, we won't put you on the air, and Rich will take your picks. But 602-260-9191 is the phone number. Caller number 5. Kevin Rowe joins us next, and then Scott Spreitzer from Vegas to Rock and Minuch with Jimmy B out here